Achille and Giovanni were two Italian brothers. They were passionate radio operators who loved listening to signals from space. In the late 1950s and 1960s, they built their own listening station in an old bunker. Using equipment they collected from old U.S. military bases and surplus radio parts, they created a homemade but powerful setup. They spent their days and nights tuning in to space signals, hoping to catch something unusual, something the rest of the world had missed. At that time, the space race between the United States and the Soviet Union was at its peak. Both superpowers were desperate to prove they were the leaders in science, technology, and exploration. The Americans often shared details of their missions with the public, turning astronauts into national heroes. But the Soviets were far more secretive. They only announced their successes, never their failures. Achille and Giovanni believed that behind this silence, the Soviet Union might be hiding failed missions. They thought some cosmonauts may have died in space, their stories buried by history. The brothers made it their mission to listen, carefully, obsessively, for anything the world wasn't supposed to hear. Then, in 1961, they claimed they heard something shocking. On the night of May 23, 1961, while scanning frequencies, the brothers picked up a weak but clear signal from space. It was the voice of a woman. She was speaking Russian. At first, they thought it might be a regular Soviet transmission, but then they realized something was wrong. The woman sounded scared. Her breathing was heavy. Her voice wavered with panic. She reported rising temperatures in her capsule. She mentioned flames. She asked again and again, "Am I going to crash?" Her voice grew weaker and more desperate with each transmission. And then, nothing. The signal went silent. The brothers recorded the transmission. In the recording, you can hear the voice of a woman alone in space, calling for help that would never come. To Achille and Giovanni, this was clear evidence that the Soviets had secretly sent a woman into space, and that the mission had ended in tragedy. They believed her spacecraft may have overheated, possibly due to a failed re-entry or technical malfunction. Her capsule may have burned up or floated off into the darkness, lost forever. But the Soviet Union never admitted to such a mission. According to official history, the first woman in space was Valentina Tereshkova, who launched aboard Vostok 6 in June 1963, 2 years after the mysterious signal. Her mission was a huge success and made her a global icon. The idea that another woman may have gone before her and died was never acknowledged. If such a mission really happened, the Soviets had every reason to hide it. Back then, every launch was a political statement. Success meant global praise. Failure meant humiliation, not just for the space agency, but for the entire Soviet Union. To this day, the mystery remains unsolved. Some call it a hoax. Others believe it's the voice of a forgotten pioneer, one whose story was never meant to be told.